Soderberg getting the start here at the XL Energy Center. She's only seen Minnesota once. It came back on January 27th, Hockey Day in Minnesota. So she hasn't seen much of this team, but we'll see if she can get the job done here tonight. Nicole Hensley, on the other hand, in between the pipes. She's seen Boston 3 times, picked up 2 wins along the way. And another note, it's Cami Kronish backing up Soderberg tonight. Erin Frankel, who we've seen most of this year, is not even in the starting lineup. A look there at Courtney Kessel, the Boston head coach. Got a chance to chat with her before the game, Julie. She had a lot of encouraging things to say about the trajectory of Boston's season. And a look there at Coach McKinley on the Minnesota bench, hoping he can guide his team to victory here tonight. And here we go. We are underway from downtown St. Paul. Boston wins the opening faceoff and dumps it in deep. Hensley went back to play it. It just escaped her. Now down low with it, Mueller. Reversed back behind the net where it's picked up there by Hannah Brandt. Now up to the half wall. Minnesota picks it up along the wall, trying to force it out of the zone. Kept in nicely by Mueller. Now tied up along the boards. Steckline in there trying to help.
And this might be part of Boston's game plan. Get the puck down low. We saw Hensley give up that goal earlier this week against Ottawa of just kind of misplaying the puck behind the net. So look for Boston to get the puck deep. Try to make Hensley make mistakes early.
Good first shift from Boston, but Minnesota with the response and a save made by Soderberg. She sees her first action of the afternoon. Both teams here with a shot apiece on net. And Boston works it out of their own end over the red line where they lose track of it. Minnesota picks it up and will work it the other way. Trying to one-touch pass. That one was panic. Boston interrupted. And now Minnesota clears out to the neutral zone. Dumped in deep by Kaylee Fratkin. Slowed down back behind the net by Hensley. Minnesota will think about this for a second. Now move it out of the zone. Losing the handle on it. Boston can't keep it in, so they'll start over in their own end. Touching that one into the zone. And now forced back out. Point trying to move it up ahead. Swatted back into Boston territory. Minnesota will go off for a line change. That gives Boston some room to work with. Boston in front of their own bench trying to bank it off the boards. Now picked up by Minnesota. Crowd loving it. Shot and a save by Soderberg. That was Cunnin who ripped that one in on net. She gets a handle on it again.
Yeah, 2 grade A chances right there by Minnesota. Cunnin and Kava both getting good looks on Soderberg, but she looked sharp early, controlling that rebound like Minnesota's jumper here early.
Greco forces that one through the crease. Nobody home to get a piece of it. Now picked up on the wall by Costa. Costa works it up to Girard. Trying to make a play at the blue line. Budarak was there for Minnesota, looking to disrupt. And now out of their own end with it comes Maggie Flaherty. Lost it at the blue line. And Boston's back on it. Minnesota was changing. This will be a 2-on-2. Shot taken. That one went just wide. And gathered up at the blue line by Sydney Moore. And she played for the Minnesota Whitecaps back in the days of the PHL. Now playing for this Boston team in the PWHL.
Yeah, big homecoming for Sydney Morin, who's really just been a mainstay on the back end. Might not get as much credit as a player like Megan Keller, who's on the National Olympic team for USA, but Morin just really steady back there, and she can also put the puck in the net.
Yeah, she scored 7 goals for the Whitecaps last season, although only has 1 point in her last 17 games here with Boston. Picked up at the red line by Boston. Megan Keller carries it in. She's dangerous, looking to hand it off. She was trying to connect with Gigi Marvin, the Minnesota native. Now forced back in deep. Steckline trying to get a piece of that one back along the wall. She works it up to Budarak. Budarak couldn't quite get a handle on it. Now it's tied up along the half wall. In there trying to help with Amanda Pelkey for Boston. Minnesota now with some room to work. Dumped in back behind the net. Soderberg watches it go by.
Well, some good zone time right there by Boston, but when you have a player like Megan Keller, who is unselfish as she is, almost gets her in trouble sometimes, looking for Gigi Marvin that really didn't even have a good shooting lane. Would love to see her when she's in that slot down Broadway, just fired on Hensley.
Yeah, Megan Keller, 3 goals on the season, but 10 assists, so she loves to dish it. Was looking to hand it off to Marvin on that sequence, but it wouldn't work. Dumped back in by Minnesota. Soderberg tees it up back behind the net. Cleared out to the neutral zone where Taylor Girard picks it up. Puck pops up in the air and Minnesota's on it. Over the blue line. A collision there in Boston, we talked about it. with Coach Courtney Kessel. They play a physical game, but this one's going to draw the ire of the officials.
Yeah, it's kind of a give and take with the physicality, is you want to play that physical game and neutralize.
17, 2 minutes for a body check.
Neutralize Minnesota's speed, but just a great rush by Sophie Jakes getting up into the play, and you can just see the leg right there of Boston just getting in the lane of Sophie Jakes, who is so strong on her feet, so you know that's a big hit right there, but a really good opportunity. So you can see Taylor Gerard skating to the penalty box for Minnesota here early in the first 5 minutes to get some looks. Both of these teams do not have very good opportunities on the special teams, both 5th and 6th respectively in this league. Just gets that knee out, and they might look, yeah, they're actually looking, it's Kaylee Fratkin that got her, stuck her knee out, and they were sending Gerard to the box, so trying to make sure the right player is in the box and serving that penalty.
And that's correct. Gerard was in the vicinity, but not the one who made contact, so it will be Kaylee Fratkin who will head to the box, and nice heads up by our crew there in the truck for letting us know what they were taking a look at here. So after some discussion, they do get Kaylee Fratkin in the box. Taylor Gerard escapes the 2-minute minor, and Minnesota will head to the power play. You mentioned it, Julie, the power play and penalty kill numbers for Minnesota and Boston. They're the bottom 2 teams in the league for each of those categories. Something's got to give today. We'll see if Minnesota can be the team to get the job done. Work back to the point. Left circle, spun back with it. Minnesota looking to get things set up here, perhaps strike early in this one on the power play. Looking to fire that one. Lost the handle, and Boston jumps on their misfortune and is able to get it out of the zone. Looking for a shorthanded chance. Taylor Gerard had that one slip just off her stick. Minnesota has yet to give up a shorthanded goal this season. Here they come back the other way, centering, and this one ends up in the netting. We'll get a whistle.
Well, a great stick right there by Emily Brown on the backside. You can see Kelly Panic was streaking on that weak side. Minnesota was caught getting up the ice in their own end, but Taylor Heisey, I mean, she can put the puck in the net, but look at the awareness of her when Panic is streaking on the backhand. But Emily Brown, Gopher versus Gopher right there, but Emily Brown got the best of Kelly Panic, just being tight on her. Really good defensive play to get her team a whistle.
Emily Brown, a Blaine native here. No mercy for her home state on that one. Does a good job breaking up that sequence for Minnesota. Zumwinkle with it now along the wall, trying to spin away from trouble. Got it to the point. Shot comes through, and a save made by Soderberg. Zumwinkle trying to force that one through to the slot. Heisey couldn't handle it. Minnesota's back on it. The corner with it. Trying to turn away from trouble. Heisey centering, and that backdoor feed. Not able to put that one home, but a good idea. Great heads-up play. You see how good Taylor Heisey is. Her hockey IQ so high. Able to read that situation and got a good look for Minnesota.
Yeah, creating chances on the power play, but once again, it's the defensive play of Boston. Gigi Marvin might be the oldest player in this league, but I mean, her hockey IQ is right up there with the best of them. Just another great stick and attention to detail by Boston.
Gigi Marvin had a nice game at the XL Energy Center in one of Boston's trips here. Had an empty net goal to seal the deal. Had a lot of family in attendance in that game. I know she was thrilled to be able to make an impact in that one. And does a good job defensively on that sequence to break it up. Now Minnesota back the other way. The final seconds coming off the clock on the power play. And only one shot registered on net for Minnesota. They had a decent amount of zone time, but were not able to get a lot through. Cleared up the wall by Kaylee Fratkin, who just got out of the box for the body checking minor. Hensley plays this up to Steckline. Steckline banks it off the wall into the neutral zone. Boston jumps back on it, and now Minnesota. Banked past Boston. Now tied up along the wall. Getting on it there was Lexi Agia. This shot comes through, kind of a funky shot that Hensley had to make a play on. And Boston's back on it.
Sometimes as a goaltender, when Hensley's only seen one shot, I mean, those are the ones that kind of scare you, and as a coach, you kind of hold your breath to make sure there's not a rebound out in front.
Budarak picks this loose puck up along the wall, gets it out to the neutral zone. Minnesota needs some fresh skaters, as does Boston, so The team in purple will play this safely down the ice and get some new skaters on.
Well, this is what you want to see if you're Minnesota at the end of the season. Coming off of 2 back-to-back losses, just the simple plays. Budorak finds Britton Fleming across ice, and or Brooke Bryan actually, and just throws that right down the ice to allow her team to get fresh legs.
When things aren't going well, it's all about getting back to the basics and not overthinking it. And you mentioned it earlier, both teams appear to be playing this somewhat safe early. They're taking their chances when they come, but nobody's forcing anything as of yet. Minnesota with it. 8 minutes gone by in the first period. We sit scoreless. That one sent down the ice by Taylor Gerard, and she'll head off for a change. Back behind the net, Tapani. The former Minnesota skater was a part of that Sophie Jakes trade, which you mentioned earlier how good Jakes has been. Tapani's fit in well with her new team as well.
Yeah, I mean, really brings a lot of physicality, but can also put the puck in the back of the net. Leads the league in plus-minus, so you know that you want her on the ice, because more often than not, she's going to be on the good side of things.
An opportunity out front there by Mueller, trying to get the tip in on Hensley. She made the save. Mueller, so dangerous. 14 points on the season. DiGirolamo forced that one in deep, and chasing after it is Nicole Costa. Reversed it to Lexi Agia. Along the wall, Agia back on it. Didn't know where to put it and ended up putting it on the stick of a Minnesota player. That gives Minnesota the opportunity to force it out. Krzyzova trying to get it in deeper and couldn't. Now into the corner with it, reversed by Flaherty. Krzyzova skates over the blue line. Lost the handle, but got some help on the backside. Looking for the centering pass, the shot, and Soderberg makes the save. What a chaotic sequence, Julie. That went from 0 to 100 real fast. Grace Sumwinkle gets the honors today. She's got 4 points against Boston so far this season, tied for team best against Boston with Taylor Heise. What can she bring to the game this afternoon?
Well, she always isn't the flashiest player, but she has a cannon of a shot, and she protects the puck extremely well. And it's someone that you definitely don't want getting a clean look if you're a goaltender in this league. You really just can't say enough about what she brings to a lineup on a daily basis, and she just has a great attitude, and is the type of player that can be in any situation and will give you 110%.
Well, she's caused some fits for Boston this season. Keeping her off the score sheet will be a big key to the game for this Boston team on the road here. We are back underway at the XL Energy Center. Jumping on that puck is Megan Keller. Boston now gets it out of their own end. Trying to force that one further down the ice was Hillary Knight. She scored the OT winner against Minnesota back on Hockey Day, Minnesota. The last time Emma Soderberg was in between the pipes against this team as well.
You kind of wonder how much, when this game stays 0-0, the longer that it does, if Minnesota starts gripping their sticks a little more. Keep in mind their last game, they were shut out 4-0 by Ottawa off of a 35-save shutout by Emmerich Mashmeyer, so they had grade A looks. Goaltender just kind of stole the show, and they fed off of that. So looking to try to get that one here, especially in the first period, because you don't want to go 4 periods without getting a goal with how dangerous they have so many threats on their team.
And you talked about being on home ice as well, how you can use that to your advantage. Not that it's any excuse to not score on the road, but it's more expected at home that you're able to get that done. We'll see if Minnesota can get one here. That shot comes through. Hensley ends up on her backside, scrambles back to her feet, and Minnesota's on it to clear it out of harm's way.
Well, they have 7 wins at home, too. I mean, they love playing in front of their home crowd. I mean, not many places have had the fan base that Minnesota does. It's the state of hockey for a reason, and so they try to build off that energy in the first period, but Boston's doing a really good job on the road, just not really allow those grade A opportunities and a great kill as well. But Boston getting some looks, looking for that far side. You can see Nicole Hensley on her back right there, but I mean, it doesn't have to be pretty. They just want to get pucks to the net with traffic in front. That's how you're going to beat both of these goaltenders here today.
Minnesota quickly off the faceoff, carries it up the ice, down the right wing, shot, and that one goes just wide, glove side on Emma Soderberg. Nice job keeping it in by Britton Fleming. This puck escapes to the point, sent back in deep by Melissa Channel. Back behind the net with it, Susanna Tapani picks it up. Minnesota back on it, looking to center that one to Claire Budorak, but Boston intercepts, and now they'll have some room to work with to get this out of the zone.
Yeah, good chances right there and pressure by this third line of Cunnin, Fleming, and Budorak, but just not able to get those grade A looks. The defense for Boston doing a really good job of just kind of closing in, eliminating that time and space in their D zone.
Kept in at the far point by Minnesota. Dumped in deep where it's picked up by Jess Healy. Jess Healy played her college hockey at the University of Minnesota Duluth. Here's Minnesota centering. This puck is loose, and Emma Soderberg finds it in her stomach. Here now with Coach Courtney Kessel over on the Boston bench. Coach, it seems like both teams are kind of playing it safe early here. What's going to be the key to getting that jump start and getting the first goal of the game?
Yeah, I think we've got to get more pucks to the net. A little bit of ozone, possession, but we've got to find ways to get it to the net.
Appreciate your time, Coach.
Thank you.
Jess Healy and Sid Morin as D partners. They all played together, the three of them at UMD, so they're confident in who they have in the back, and they have a little idea of what she's going to do, so it makes it that much easier.
Taylor Heisey centering that pass, and that one just went just wide. That was Kava who was looking to put that one home. Kava's been tremendous as of late. 4 points in her last 6 games. Is looking for a goal there. Now Minnesota with speed. Handing it off on the backhand, centering, and went off Emily Brown out front and went wide.
Well, they're getting chances, Minnesota, but every team always talks about protecting the house, and it looks like Minnesota will have an odd man rush, but the defense for Boston is doing such a good job of just crashing right in front of Emma Soderberg, clearing out everybody in the blue paint, and just not allowing Minnesota to get any clean looks on her. And if there are rebounds, they're doing a great job of clearing them out.
And they're doing it with little to no panic as well. They seem to be very comfortable back there, regardless of what Minnesota's thrown at them so far. Hannah Brandt tied up along the wall in front of the Minnesota bench. Minnesota picks it up. Kendall Coyne-Schofield forces it down the ice. Boston first to it. Up along the wall. Hillary Knight lost it. Kendall Coyne-Schofield sends it back in deep. Minnesota's on it, looking to set up. Centering pass in the shot. Soderberg had some trouble with it, but jumps on the rebound and covers it up. One of the trickier shots she's faced so far today, Julie, but she's up to the task once again.
And this is what Courtney Kessel wanted from her goaltender. I mean, just strong with her movement, but just grade A chances back and forth for Minnesota. Taylor Heisey, I mean, look at the strength that she has on that backhand to kind of look to the slot. But I mean, Boston right now, I mean, they just need to get the puck out of their zone. Hillary Knight had a chance when she was about a foot or two away from the blue line. I mean, she's a smarter player than that with everything that she's done, all her accolades. But luckily for her, Emma Soderberg's been up to the task, but they have to be so smart, especially right inside their own blue line.
Minnesota back on it again, has had some good chances as of late. That puck ended up on a Boston player's stick. Minnesota trying to keep it in the zone. A scramble for it in the corner. Couple players apiece in there trying to dig it out. Now it winds up along the half wall. Taylor Gerard lost it, but gets some help from Jess Healy. Minnesota right back in with it. To the slot, looking for the feed back to the back door. One too many passes, Julie.
Yeah, just another great defensive play by Sydney Morin and Susanna Tapani. Just clearing everything out in the slot and just being so smart defensively. But Minnesota's really pushing the pace right now, trying to create opportunities down low. But one too many passes, like you said, Alexis. They just need to fire the puck and look for those rebounds.
It was the first time all game they tried to get too cute with their passing there, and they paid the price for it as the opportunity dissolved. Up to 8 shots on net now for Minnesota. Out front, Soderberg finds the loose puck with her glove. Another whistle and some words shared in the crease after the fact. The officials break it up. Face off here in the neutral zone. Steckline picks up the loose puck, reverses it over to her defensive partner who dumps it in deep. Now in the corner with it, Liz Shepard, still looking for her first goal of the season. Boston forces it out to neutral. Now carries it over the blue line. Mueller could not pull the trigger on that one. Minnesota disrupted the play.
A good defensive play right there by Michaela Kava, just doing a good job on the back check, eliminating space.
Now on the backhand, that shot ends up towards Nicole Hensley. That was Hillary Knight who sent that one towards the net. Tied up along the wall, Mueller trying to dig it loose for her Boston team. Knight is there as well. This puck ends up on the side of the cage where it's picked up by Lee Steckline.
even though they're not considered a physical team, Minnesota's doing a really good job of kind of neutralizing the physicality that we've seen so much all year long of Boston getting in their face and just not allowing them to kind of work their way up the ice.
Well, we talked about it before the broadcast, Julie, that Minnesota, despite having the lowest hits in the league, part of that is because they play such a fast game. They choose speed over physicality, and many times it's worked for them. But in a matchup like this where Boston has the most hits in the league, somebody's going to have to change their tactic if they want to come out on top.
Yeah, and you haven't seen a ton of physicality today, and you haven't seen a ton of speed from Minnesota as well. Boston's done a really good job, especially those defense kind of staying up in the neutral zone, eliminating that time and space, having good gaps, and just not allowing players like Taylor Heisey and Grace Zumwinkle to kind of stay at the perimeter and gain that speed.
Boston on it here. Stripped away. Minnesota's on it. Kendall Coyne-Schofield shoots, and Soderberg, great angle on that one, is able to deflect that one up and out of harm's way.
Well, Sophie Jakes just pickpocketed Boston in the neutral zone. Great play by her, and it was almost looked like Kendall Coyne-Schofield was kind of caught off guard. She didn't ever stick in the greatest position to catch that puck, but still able to get the shot off, but probably shaking her head after that of just what great of a play it was by Sophie Jakes, and she's just had herself a great first period so far.
Sometimes the turnover is so good, nobody sees it coming. A short side shot taken there by Claire Buderak. And Soderberg able to make the save again. She's starting to get busy down there in the Boston crease. And here's another look at that strip by Jakes, and the handoff to Coyne.
Yeah, this is a great strip by Sophie Jakes on Sophie Shirley right there. The battle of the Sophies, but Kendall Coyne just wide open there on that far side. But you can see just catches it with one hand, pretty impressive, and then settles it down, looking to go high blocker on Soderberg, but in good position, staying strong on her angles, and has had a great first period. Once again, another save, no rebound. I mean, that's a hard thing as a goaltender when you haven't played in over a month, especially coming into this environment where your team has to get 3 points, and even in regulation. So for her to come out here, have the first period that she has against a team that usually gets a lot of grade A looks throughout the whole game and is able to capitalize on them, she's had herself a great first period here.
Minnesota has tested her a lot. Claire DeGeorge trying to force that one into some quality ice, but stolen away. This one forced back in front of the penalty boxes. Now Minnesota on it. Boston trying to disrupt that. Taylor Gerard nicely strips DeGeorge of the puck. And Minnesota steals in the high zone. Looking for some room, trying to get it to DeGeorge, and a nice job again by Boston breaking up the play. Heisey lost the handle. Heisey hands it off to Steckline. Steckline looking for some options. She's got some room to work. Steckline rips it, doesn't get all the way through. The backhand attack down low, taken by Sydney Brott. Was not able to get it on net. Minnesota still maintaining pressure in the corner with it. Down to 2 minutes to go in the period. Nobody has found the back of the net yet, but Minnesota has had some grade A chances. They're looking for more here. Walking it out front, backhand shot goes just wide. Picked up by Krzyzova. Krzyzova lost the puck, but gets it to the point where Steckline sends it towards the net. Kava with it now. Looked like Natalie Bookbinder wanted to take that shot, but Kava takes it to the other side of the ice.
Well, just great pressure right now by Minnesota, and this all started from a Megan Keller turnover. I mean, this is just a turnover machine right now, Boston, and Minnesota's making them pay. A lot of tired legs right now.
Steckline sends that one through. Boston gets in front of it. The crowd trying to urge on the team in purple. And Keller looked like she was gassed, could not get to that puck first. Everybody probably a little tired right now with such a long shift there for Minnesota in the offensive zone. Finally, both teams will get some fresh legs on the ice, and Minnesota will regroup from their own end.
Well, and I think Megan Keller also got away with a penalty. You could see how tired she was. That huge check along the boards. She got lucky, especially in the last couple minutes of this period.
Melissa Channel tried to let it fly from the point. She didn't get everything on it. Down to less than a minute to go in the first period. Picked up here by Hannah Brandt in the corner, sent it towards the net. Nobody home to get a piece of it. Boston keeps it alive in the offensive zone. Looking to get some magic going late after spending a long shift in their own end. Along the wall with it, Alina Mueller. Now Hillary Knight lost it back behind the net. Minnesota jumps on it. Dumped in deep there by Grace Zumwinkle, and both teams will get some fresh bodies.
Not a lot of grade A looks, if any, for Boston. Minnesota has to be happy with their play in the defensive zone, especially after coming off to back-to-back games where they gave up 4 goals with a lot of odd man rushes.
Final second comes off the clock, the horn sounds, and that'll do it for the first period of play.
Back at the XL Energy Center, 0-0 after the first period between Minnesota and Boston. We're pleased to be joined by Minnesota assistant captain Lee Steckline. Lee, back and forth in the first period, but you kind of took control later in that first. What did you like out of the first 20?
Yeah, like you said, I think we definitely got it going towards the end of that period, which is great. Continuing to get lots of shots on net, moving our feet, and really possessing the puck.
Now, back-to-back games, you guys gave up 4 goals, kind of uncharacteristic for your team. How much of an emphasis was placed on kind of cleaning it up in the D zone here today?
You know, that's something we prided ourselves on all year, and it's something we really want to get back to. So we had a few good practices here to make sure we were all on the same page, and it looks like we're off to the right start so far.
Now, you're facing a goaltender that you've only seen once in Emma Soderberg. What's kind of going to be the key in the next 20 to find a way to get one by her?
Yeah, she's a great goalie, obviously. We've seen her one time, but she's had an awesome year, so continuing to get pucks and bodies to the net, and hopefully we'll have some success.
Thanks so much, Lee, and good luck in the second.
Thanks, Julie.
5 teams remaining to make it to playoffs. 2 have clinched. 3 are looking for those final 2 spots. Scoreless after 1 period of play. We resume action for the second period. Minnesota looking to get right back to work in the offensive zone. A couple swings and misses on that puck, never got through to the net. Boston clears to the blue line and then out. Nice job forcing that out by Hillary Knight. Now here comes Boston, a quick shot in on Nicole Hensley, short side. Hensley steered that one away.
And I think that's what Boston is just looking to do here in the early stages of the second period. Didn't get a lot of shots, no grade A chances, no scoring chances for them in the first period. So they want to test Nicole Hensley, try to get her off the game, because it's hard to settle in when you don't see a lot of pucks in the first period.
From the point, that shot deflected on the way in, ends up back behind the net where Minnesota gets to it. Zumwinkle turned it over, now has a chance to clear it out of the zone, and they do. Sophie Jakes on it. Had 3 Boston players in her vicinity, was looking to get rid of the puck, and now here comes Minnesota through the neutral zone. Down the left wing, handed it off, backhanded towards the net, that one just escaped the crease area. Minnesota coming very close to another opportunity to score, and a delayed penalty on Boston. Hensley is off. Extra skater is on, and Boston touches up, which will bring up the whistle. Minnesota will head to their second power play of the afternoon.
Well, one thing that Boston did such a good job in the first period is just kind of clogging up the neutral zone and eliminating the speed, but Minnesota gains speed into the zone. Grace Zumwinkle looking for that backhand on the far side, creates herself a chance to get to the net, and you see the penalty. Kaylee Fracken's going to wind herself back in the box. Not what you're looking for if you're Courtney Kessel and a team that needs to get back on track, trying to get those offensive chances, but now they have to kill off another penalty.
Courtney Kessel did not look pleased with the call, and after seeing the replay, I don't know if I agree with it either. It looked like Melissa Channel maybe just bit the dust on her own, but nonetheless, Minnesota another chance on the power play. And Boston was looking for a call there. None coming. We play on 5-on-4 with Minnesota with the skater advantage.
Yeah, heavy collision right there. The shorthanded chance by Hannah Brandt, just tried to drop her shoulder and drive to the net. Almost looked like she lost her footing a little bit. Glad to see she got up on her own footing.
Now Minnesota back the other way. Will look to establish some pressure here on the power play. They only had 1 shot on net on their first power play opportunity of the game. Looking to get some more action towards the crease here on this chance. Back behind the net. Had a lot of time to work with it. Works it to the point. Out of the half wall. Reversed back behind the net where Panic picks it up. Panic looking for some help out front. Nobody was there. She'll carry it out herself. Panic skates up with it. Still looking for some help. Nobody in a position she liked to hand it off to. Now Boston chops that puck down the ice. And both teams will head off.
Well, just a really good
changes.
Really good kill by Boston. You can see how aggressive they are, trying to make Minnesota make those quick passes, and they weren't able to get a shot through just because they had to make those quick decisions. Ended up turning the puck over, but just a great aggressive kill right now for Boston here early in the second.
Already just 30 seconds remaining on the power play for Minnesota. This puck escapes the zone, so they have to start over here. Lee Steckline trails all the way back down the ice with it. Circles around Nicole Hensley. and will pick up some speed here through the neutral zone. Carries it in down the wall, looking for some help, hands it off down low. In the corner with it, trying to work out. Into the circle, now to the point. Steckline rips a shot through, was looking for the deflection. It went off of Hillary Knight out front. Minnesota maintains control. Radkin's gonna come out of the box. That shot finally got through. Pad save made by Soderberg. Krzyzova in down low. Coyne Schofield trying to bang it home, and finally the whistle. Soderberg wasn't really tested up until about the last 10 seconds of that power play. Minnesota had two good looks there, one right as the power play was expiring, and one right after, but we sit scoreless.
Well, you just get pucks through, but once again, Emma Soderberg can see that, has a pretty heavy rebound, but Krzyzova sticks with it, looks for Kendall Coyne on that strong side for kind of a catch and shoot to beat Soderberg low under the pads, but Soderberg holds her ground. Sydney Morin's giving Coyne a little shove right there to kind of get her out of the way, but another great kill by Boston of just letting their goaltender see the puck and just frustrating Minnesota right now, not allowing to get one by her.
And Kendall Coyne Schofield likes to work out front in that crease area. She's very strong on the puck, does not let herself get pushed around. Is looking for the first goal of the game there, but none to be had as Emma Soderberg continues to stand tall in between the pipes for Boston.
Yeah, not the biggest player on the ice is Kendall Coyne Schofield,
but her attitude and mentality definitely is.
Yeah, huge passion for the game and just the drive that she has every time that she's on the ice.
Sophia Conant chases down that puck that she chopped into the zone. Puck was just a little too far ahead of her to get to it. Centering pass, nobody home. Minnesota back on it. Budorak sends it back behind the net. Trying to work out of the corner with it. Great job again defensively to force Minnesota off the puck. That was Lexi Agia who played the body well in the corner there.
Well, your center has to be one of your most responsible person in the D zone, almost like a third defenseman. You can see Alexia Agia using her size, just allowing her players to get the puck out of the zone. Really good job by her.
Budorak goes down back behind the net, lost the handle on the puck, and Boston's on it. Worked out of the zone, back into Minnesota territory. It's chased down there by Melissa Channel. One of her 2 points this season came against this Boston team earlier in the year. And this puck will come all the way down the ice for icing. Puck ends up deep in Boston territory. Jess Healy trying to tie that up along the wall. Coming in to help her out is Hillary Knight. This puck reversed the other way where it's picked up by Sydney Morin. Morin pops it out to the red line. Sophie Jakes gloves it down. Everybody changing. Back behind Claire DeGeorge. Now Boston works it out the other way. Shot taken, and Nicole Hensley able to make the save. Brings up the whistle.
That good look right there from Sydney Morin, getting that pass up to Hillary Knight. And I think this almost fooled Hensley a little bit with just how quick of a wrister this was, a little bit through the screen of Bookbinder. But Hensley, who hasn't seen a lot of action here in the first half of the game, does a good job controlling that rebound, getting a whistle for her team, not allowing any momentum to go on Boston's side right now.
This might be comparing apples and oranges, Julie, but as somebody who played the netminder position, who has the tougher task today? Emma Soderberg, who hasn't seen much of this team, or Nicole Hensley, who's seen a lot of this team but hasn't seen much action here today?
I think Nicole Hensley, because when you're a goaltender that you're normally seeing a lot of shots, I mean, they do a really good job of allowing Maddie Rooney and Nicole not to see a ton of shots through the season, but it's easy to be sharp when you're seeing pucks in the first period. So Emma Soderberg's in a good position right now, 15 of 15, but if Nicole Hensley can kind of get shots like that where they're farther out, she'll be able to hold that.
We've got a Boston player down right at about the Minnesota blue line.
Jamie Lee Rattray started the game on that top line with Taylor Gerard and Susanna Stepani, and so now they're going, Courtney Kessel is going back to this line that had a lot of production in their game on Wednesday night against Ottawa, got the opening goal, and were able to tie the game up late. So 2 goals from this line, looking to see if they can kind of rejuvenate this line combination once again.
Boston with a little pep in their step right off the faceoff there, looking to establish something in Minnesota's end. Not able to get the puck in on net yet, but they've been able to maintain pressure before Minnesota now stealing it away. Can't clear. That shot came in quickly off the stick of Emily Brown, and Hensley looked a little caught by surprise by that. Kicked that out the last second.
Yeah, that didn't miss by much. Emily Brown was looking for Hannah Brandt with that high tip, and it just was a little out of her her zone right there, but Hensley is definitely surprised by that long shot.
Now Alina Mueller in 1-on-2 against Minnesota. Shoots and went off the stick there. Nice of the defensive job by Maggie Flaherty to break up that play. That's not a player you want in that situation if you're Minnesota. Alina Mueller so dangerous. And Minnesota back the other way. That shot escapes its intended target at the point. Will come all the way back down where Minnesota chases.
Yeah, good shift right now by Mueller. Had a really good individual play in the offensive zone, but Maggie Flaherty had a great defensive play, but another good play by Mueller in her D zone to strip that puck out of the zone.
Boston picks it up here in their own end. Jessica DiGirolamo. Costa works it the other way. Minnesota gets down to it. Hensley slows it down and then just decides to cover it up. She smelled trouble in the vicinity. Boston up to 10 shots on net now, but a good look here by Mueller.
Yeah, Mueller knows that she doesn't really have a lot on the perimeter, so she tries to cut to the middle. Gets a step on Maggie Flaherty, but Flaherty does a good job of sticking with her and extending, presenting that stick right there. Goes right off the backside of her stick, doesn't allow anything to get to Nicole Hensley. So once again, tightening up the D zone. We talked to Lee Steckline after the first period. That was something that they wanted to emphasize coming into this game. They've done a great job of not allowing a lot of grade A chances to get to Nicole Hensley.
And Maggie Flaherty there, defense 101. You want to stick with body position. When you lose that, you get a stick in the lane. She did exactly that, maintained her composure, and kept a very high danger score off the score sheet there on that sequence.
Well, and it's all about the gap control as well. She had a really tight gap against Mueller there. Mueller kind of shifted her speed. She went a little fast down that right side and then kind of slowed up. Really hard as a defenseman to kind of manage that, but Maggie Flaherty, another UMD Bulldog out here today. Just a really storied career in college, a little bit with the U.S. program at the lower levels, but I mean, she's been a mainstay on the back end for Minnesota.
A lot of Minnesota natives or players who played college hockey in Minnesota on the ice here today between these two teams. Now Minnesota with some speed down the wing, peeling back, looking for some help, handing it off. Carrying it back behind the net. Nice pressure by Boston to work that puck loose. Now tied up along the wall. Minnesota trying to maintain control here. Boston causing them some trouble. Sent to the point. Jake sends it over to her defensive partner. That shot comes through. Soderberg with the pad save. Nice work by Minnesota. They went from right to left, got a quick shot in, and Soderberg was ready.
Yeah, getting more chances once again, trying to pick up where they left off, but Boston still continuing to do a good job of keeping Minnesota out to the perimeter. We saw that initial rush by Grace Zumwinkle. Didn't really have a lot with her, but they kept everyone to the perimeter. Emma Soderberg did a good job of just kind of staying in the paint and taking that angle away. The puck luckily hit her, and there's just no second and third looks. Not a lot of people crashing at that net front presence in Minnesota right now.
This shot comes through, went just wide. Boston trying to scurry to it. Bookbinder's there to help keep it in. She's had a couple great keeps on this sequence for Minnesota. Back behind the net, looking for the wraparound, trying to bang it home, and Soderberg is there. Tied up the post. And the rebound control by Emma Soderberg has been grade A here this afternoon. Minnesota looking to bring that one out front, and broken up again by Boston. Now Boston picks it up, gotta wait to get onside. Now they carry it over the blue line. Lee Steckline, so smoothly as she does, breaks up that sequence. Boston able to hold to the line. Brown sends it in, and this puck tied up in the slot. Hensley was trying to keep her eyes on it. It never got all the way through.
Yeah, two of the best to ever do it right there. Lee Steckline going against Hillary Knight. Just really good body position. I think Hillary Knight might have got a little bit of that tip, but not enough to get a clean look on Nicole Hensley. But just chances at both ends of the ice. You can see just the talent on both sides of this ice right now.
Loose puck in the Boston slot. They clear it out of harm's way, try to work it out of the zone. Looking to get it to Kelly Babstock. And with it now, Megan Keller. Keller could pull the trigger. Great defensive play by Minnesota. Boston, though, maintains control.
Another good play right there by Maggie Flaherty. You can see Megan Keller getting up into the play, trying to pull that to the middle. We saw that just a great stick position she had it in earlier this period.
I'm here now with Coach Ken Klee on the Minnesota bench. Coach, a chance to clinch a playoff spot here today, but we sit scoreless about halfway through the game. What does your team need to do to get the job done?
Yeah, I mean, we know it's going to be a tight game, right? Every game we play is tight. We just got to find a way to bury pucks. We're getting some good looks. We just need another half step or put it a little under the bar and really finish. You know, I like the way our team's playing. We have lots of energy, lots of jump. We just got to keep playing hard.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate your time.
You bet.
Julian, your opinion, in a game like this, is it going to be one goal is going to break it open or one goal is going to win it all?
I feel like it could go either way. I mean, that's the thing that Courtney Kessel had talked to us before the game is the goaltenders are so good in this league. Doesn't matter if you're 1, 2, or 3. Everyone gives you a chance to win. You can see a nice save there on Grace Sumwinkle by Soderberg. But, I mean, both of these teams have so much talent offensively that it could open up. But with how well both these goaltenders are playing right now, could be one goal, could be the game winner.
And a nice stick check there or poke check, I beg your pardon, by Soderberg to break up that play. She's pulling another weapon out of the arsenal there today, trying to get a piece of that one before it even got through to the net. Boston looking for a chance on the other side of the ice. Alina Mueller sent that one in, picked up by Minnesota. Megan Keller thought about coming up to play it. Now she does. Forces it back in deep. Picked up along the wall and backhanded out into the neutral zone. Keller's on it for Boston. Will play it back behind her net. A couple forecheckers in for Minnesota trying to cause her some trouble. Boston works it out to the neutral zone. Now a shot taken there by Amanda Pelkey, and that one went high and wide. Couple Minnesota players at the blue line trying to force that out. That was Kruzova and Heisey. Now the puck comes back the other way. Brown trying to send it back towards Minnesota's side of the ice. Boston's on it. Could be an odd skater rush if they hustle. Here comes Boston. And a great layout there by Minnesota. That was Bookbinder who broke that play up. Not giving Boston a chance to center that shot where they wanted it.
Yeah, Boston had numbers coming up the ice with a great play by Megan Keller to step up into the neutral zone, but a heck of a play defensively to lay out by Bookbinder.
I beg your pardon, that was Channel who got a piece of that one. And now Channel gives it off to Jake. Shot comes through. Rebound! Soderberg gets a stick on it. Great heads-up play by Soderberg to find that loose puck. Minnesota almost able to score the first one of the afternoon, but Soderberg says no once again.
Well, Michaela Cava was chomping at the bit right there. You could see Emma Soderberg's eyes were pretty wide on that rebound, but she knew extra effort just has to get there. Just a little stick check to get it out of the reach of Cava. Best chance of the period right there for Minnesota, but just a little too late on that second chance.
Delayed offside here on Boston, so they need to evacuate the zone. Now they come in onside. Puck forced back out to neutral. Kaylee Fradkin's on it. She sends it in deep. Hensley will tee it up back behind the net for her defensive team. And Minnesota's on it once again. Trying to work it in down low, backhand, looking for the backdoor feed, and Soderberg is on it. Man, this crowd is eager for a goal. Every time Minnesota crosses the blue line, you hear the noise level rise here at the XL Energy Center, but it was Boston moments ago who had a good look.
Yeah, Amanda Pelkey looking for Alexia Gia crossing to the net, but Sophie Jakes, of course, she's on the offensive chances. A grade A look and just right out of the reach of Michaela Cava, who was streaking in on that backside, and I think it was a great job by Gia once again to just kind of hold her up just enough to allow Soderberg to get a stick on it, but chances at both ends of the ice. One of these are going to go in soon.
Michaela Cava was the 2023 PWHL playoff MVP for the Toronto Six. 4 points in her last 6 games, was looking for a goal there, none to be had. Centering pass, and that one went just wide. Steckline's on it. Couple close calls for Minnesota in their own end. Boston, despite being outshot, looking to get that first goal of the game. Minnesota shuts the door.
Yeah, ice opening up a little bit. Chances are there, second and third looks, but it's just who's going to bear down and find a way to get one past these goaltenders.
Panic sends a shot in. Soderberg sees it cleanly. Second opportunity set behind the net. Panic's got a couple points on the season against this Boston team. Picked up by Emma Greco in Minnesota territory. Almost lost the handle. She's bothered by Nicole Costa. Great job forechecking by Costa to pry that puck loose. Now tied up along the wall. Minnesota clears it out, but not far. Boston's back on it. Agia carries it in. Lost the handle, bit the dust. Minnesota's back on it the other way. Could be an odd skater rush if they hustle. Zumwinkle gets the pass back, trying to get it to her backhand, and great job defensively by Boston to break up the play.
Yeah, DiGirolamo once again just doing a good job. Net front presence in front of Emma Soderberg. Once again, I think Minnesota is just trying to be a little too cute right there. There's a lot of talent on the ice, but when you have a lane and you have an opportunity to shoot the puck, especially trying to just create some rebounds, you definitely want to do it. You can see Grace Zumwinkle had to pull it to her backhand, wasn't able to get a shot off.
Kelly Panic now for Minnesota, hands it off and takes the check. Walked out front in the slot, pass shot, and this one goes just wide. I almost said one too many passes, but the shot was so good I can't even be mad at it.
Well, and you could see that puck kind of just trickling behind the goal line. I think the goal judge thought it went in. The red light went on behind the net. And, I mean, Sophie Jakes, what a game that she's had of just throwing pucks to the net and just finding a way to make it through the seam. Not something that we've seen a lot in this game from any of the defensemen of getting those grade A looks.
Taylor Heisey now bringing a rise out of the crowd shot, and this one hits the glass. This crowd is desperate for something to celebrate as this puck escapes the zone.
Some of the best shifts right now for Minnesota, really pressing, but still can't find a way to execute. You saw in that last chance by Kava, trying to go high, just missed it.
Hillary Knight trying to get that one to her forehand, sent a shot towards the net. Emily Brown hands it off, picked up there by Brandt, and now Minnesota's on it. Could be an odd skater rush once again, but Boston hustling back. It's 3-on-3. This one sent in deep, along the wall, kept in at the point. Sent back in, back behind the net. Megan Keller's on it for Boston. Gets it out to the neutral zone where Bookbinder jumps to it. Bookbinder sends it in. Just about 3 minutes remaining in the second period. We are all eagerly awaiting the first goal of the game. That shot never got through. Budarak is on it. She hands it off. Working out from the half wall now, trying to get it in down low. Great job by Hillary Knight to get in front of that shot, or a pass, I should say. Breaking up the play. Flaherty trying to hustle this play the other way. Budarak lost the handle, picks it back up in the corner. She's pressured by Keller. In there to help her out is Cunnin. Worked out to the slot, and didn't have a good angle on it. That one ends up in the corner. That was Britt Fleming with that chance.
Oh, just great pressure right now from Minnesota. This is the jump that they kind of wanted at the beginning of the game. You can just kind of feel the fiery energy that they have in the second half of the period, but they still can't find a way to get a lot of grade A looks on net. They're getting the grade A looks, but they're almost doing one too many moves, or just Boston's doing such a good job in the D zone of clogging up that middle of the ice that Minnesota's trying to get to.
And generally, Minnesota's a great second period team. 19 goals in the second period is their best of any period, allowing only 11, which is tied for their second lowest. Boston looking for a late chance here. Backdoor feed, and Hensley laid out for it, but never had to make the save. The crowd loves the effort from Minnesota defensively. Panic now the other way, looking to get something going on the offensive side of the ice. Shot comes through, high riser, hits the glass.
I believe Maggie Flaherty got a piece of that, looking at, once again on the backside, Boston's best chance of the game.
Another shot comes through from the blue line for Minnesota. I mean, the Minnesota defense is not afraid to shoot the puck, and they've got 8 goals from their defense this season, and they've had a lot of opportunities from the blue line here today to get some action going towards the crease. Kava hands it off, shot comes through, deflected, and they score! It took a while, but Minnesota is on the board first. It's going to be Kelly Panic. Makes it 1-0 for the team in purple.
Well, this line really impressive for Minnesota, and we talk about how good of a playmaker Kelly Panic is, but just talk about the right place at the right time. Continued sustained pressure by Minnesota. Michaela Kava finds Kevin Coyne, who shoots for that far side. Hard to control the rebound as a goaltender, and Kelly Panic gets the best of Jess Healy right there, who gets the backhand, wastes no time to get that huge opening goal in the game in the last minute of the second period.
For Kelly Panic, that'll be goal number 4 on the season. It'll be assist number 10 for Kendall Coyne-Schofield and assist number 3 for Michaela Kava. And Panic has only had 1 point in her last 4 games. Nice to see her get on the score sheet here today against this Boston team.
Well, that's just a simple play by Minnesota. I mean, Michaela Kava makes a pass to Kendall Coyne, who just fires it and relies on her teammates to be in front of the net to create that rebound and allow her to bury it. But huge goal for Minnesota late in the second period. I mean, they were almost a little bit snake bitten.
That player in the back of the shot there, Kelly Panic, able to get the job done for Minnesota. Again, her 4th goal of the season.
Well, you go to the net, good things happen, and Kelly Panic did a great job of just kind of pushing off of Jess Healy a little bit to just get that little time and space, and just wasn't pretty, but she whacked home a goal.
Minnesota in some trouble there for a moment. Crowd eager for that puck to be cleared out of the way. They avoid the trouble for now. 40 seconds to go in the second period. Jumping on a loose puck and ripping a shot off that deflects up into the netting and brings up a whistle.
Well, if you're looking for a player to tie this thing up for Boston, I mean, put the puck on Hillary Knight's stick. You can just see the grade A look of trying to create some more offense for Rattray on that line, but right in the slot there is not a place where you want Hillary Knight to be. A great block early on by Minnesota, and then she had another chance that went up into the netting. So Hillary Knight, when she gets that puck, she's definitely going to try to throw one on Hensley here.
Boston got it to the point. Shot comes through. Fratkin's shot was deflected. Ends up wide. Kelly Panic is on it now for Minnesota, tied up along the wall. 25 seconds to go in the middle frame. Minnesota to the loose puck, cleared off the glass and out to the neutral zone. Fratkin back on it, gives it off to Keller. Boston trying to work quickly here, looking for an opportunity before the horn sounds. This comes all the way down and should be icing on Minnesota. The good news for Minnesota, we talked about playoff clinching scenarios. They need a point today. Minnesota has not lost in regulation when scoring first, so if that trend continues today, Minnesota will be in good hands, but a lot of game left to be played.
Yeah, and you really felt like that opening goal could go either way. It was kind of showing into Minnesota's favor the later we went into the second period. I mean, they already have 24 shots on goal, but Emma Soderberg's been the story for Boston here. But they're looking to get some insurance goals right now to kind of put this game out of reach here in the third period.
Yeah, with how much talent there is in the league, no lead is really safe, and especially not a one-goal lead. So we'll see what the third period has in store for us. Kelly Panic gets Minnesota on the board. It's a 1-0 game.
Back at the XL Energy Center, Minnesota has a 1-0 lead going into the second period, the second intermission against Boston. Pleased to be joined by Minnesota native Hannah Brandt. Hannah, not the way that your team wanted to go into the second intermission, but what have you liked out of your team's effort here today?
Yeah, I mean, we're working really hard. We got to keep getting pucks deep. I thought we did that a little bit better in the second, but we still got to get more pucks to the net. 12 shots isn't going to cut it against a goalie like Nicole. So, yeah, I think keep working hard and finishing our checks along the walls. Turning more pucks over probably would be helpful.
And Erin Frankel's kind of your mainstay in the net. Emma Soderberg got the nod today. What have you liked out of her play so far?
Yeah, obviously, Erin's amazing, but Emma's stepped into her great today. She's kept us in this game. Without her, it would be a lot worse right now. So we're thankful for Emma, and she's going to keep us in it here and give us a chance here going into the third.
20 minutes left. Have to find a way to get 3 points in regulation. What's the key to kind of chip away, tie this game up here early?
Yeah, we got to play desperate, play like our life depends on it, because it obviously does here. So, yeah, stick to the game plan, but yeah, definitely get more pucks to the net.
Thanks, Anna, and good luck in the third.
Thanks, Julie.
So Minnesota coming out of the second period with that 1-goal lead will look to put some insurance on this lead they've got, but Boston, if they have a say in it, are going to look for opportunities of their own, and they draw a penalty here. I believe slashing is going to be the call. We'll get the official word from the officials after the whistle here, but Minnesota will now be shorthanded for the first time today. Boston, a good a chance as any to try to score that tying goal.
Not a call that Ken Klee is going to be happy with, yet all the momentum.
Minnesota penalty, number 41, minor penalty, tripping.
In that second period, and you can see this play in the offensive zone. Krzyzova just gets, and I don't know about that one, but I think Krzyzova, just don't put yourself in that position where the ref is going to make a call. Megan Keller might have lost her footing there a little bit. I'm not 100% sure about that one, but not what you're looking for if you're Minnesota trying to get an insurance goal to extend this lead, but a great opportunity for Boston to tie this up, kind of halt that momentum that we saw. Kind of Minnesota has controlled the game a lot throughout the whole day.
Well, that penalty kind of looked like the one that went against Boston earlier. That was a hooking call where I felt that Minnesota player just lost their footing. So I guess it all evens out in the end, at least for now. Boston a chance to try to get that tying goal, looking for their first of the game. Keller and Tapani play catch at the point. Back to Keller, now Tapani in the circle, centering. Swung and missed on that one in the slot. Keller gets it back. Hands it off. Shot taken, they score! It didn't take long into the power play, and Boston is on the board. It's going to go to Alina Mueller, her 4th goal of the season, and Minnesota has the lead no longer.
Well, you can't talk enough about what Megan Keller does to quarterback this power play. Draws pretty much 2 players from Minnesota to take her, and then you could just see just a little quick play to Alina Mueller, who I think Hensley was screened out in front, never saw. The puck might have redirected, but you look at Hillary Knight, her big frame in front of the net. She knows exactly where she's going to be standing to take the eyes away of Nicole Hensley. She loves that spot, one of the best in the world at her net front presence, and that's a big goal for Boston to tie this, especially early in the 3rd period.
A great screen by Hillary Knight. Minnesota shorthanded, had to cut their losses, decided to leave her all alone out front, and Nicole Hensley not able to see around her. Alina Mueller with her 4th of the season, coming at 1:42 of the 3rd period, ties this up. A huge goal for Boston, who is desperate for points here today. Another chance, and this one goes up and hits the glass. How will Minnesota respond now after giving up that tying goal early in the 3rd period? Minnesota has allowed 11 third period goals this season. Boston has scored 15 of them. It's their lowest scoring period, but they get a big one here today to tie it up. Looking for more. Boston enters the zone. Keller with it. She gives it off to Kelly Babstock, who's only got a handful of games under her belt this season for Boston, in on the action here today. Minnesota trying to clear it out. Babstock has it back behind the goal line. Wanted to get it out into a better area, but not able to do so.
That's a huge goal for Boston. Their power play has been their kryptonite, coming in at 6%, able to convert on the man advantage. We'll see if they can build off of that to try to gain their first lead of the hockey season.
Minnesota able to escape the trouble for now. Banked off the boards and down the ice, where both teams will make a change.
A pin drop right now in this building, completely silenced the crowd. I think Courtney Kessel was looking for her team to do this a little earlier in the game, but with the play of Emma Soderberg and how well she's done throughout the whole game, giving her team a chance, not letting this game get out of hand, and Boston was able to execute on the power play early.
And Minnesota is 8-2 when leading after 2 periods of play. Boston trying to have a say in that matter. Pass out front and couldn't pull that trigger. Grace Zumwinkle was in all alone and just could not get the shot off.
Yeah, that pass a little too hot to handle for Grace Zumwinkle. Kendall Coyne was a little bit of a sauce there, but didn't miss by much, but it could have been a great opportunity to regain that lead for Minnesota.
Back out to the neutral zone, where Boston will play catch with it. Look to send this up the ice. Tapani got a piece of that one to send it in deep. Along the wall, Minnesota dumps to the blue line. It just escapes the zone. Keller can't hold. Minnesota, odd skater rush if they hustle. Trying to toe drag that one into a better spot on the ice and could not take the puck with her. Holding the zone. Minnesota in on Emma Soderberg. Shot and a save. Michaela Cava trying to get that go-ahead goal. Soderberg once again shuts the door.
Well, Cava just did a great job of waiting Soderberg out, but she had to get that puck off because Soderberg, just a long leg extension, and just did a good job of just kind of holding her ground. Realized that in tight, she's not going to be able to get this puck up. I'm covering the low part of the net. Huge save to keep this game tied in the 3rd period.
Top line for Minnesota out there right now, looking to make some magic happen, but we sit tied at 1 apiece. Bookbinder swats this down. Heisey trying to work it up the ice. It was intercepted. Now Heisey on the 2nd attempt gets it in a little deeper before Boston gets to it. Bratkin works it the other way. Icing waved off.
Well, I feel like especially those top 6 forwards from Minnesota, we always talk about Grace Zumwinkle, Kelly Panik, and Taylor Heisey, but Michaela Cava and what she's been able to do for Minnesota in the inaugural season, I mean, I think she's exceeded Ken Flea's expectations and has really been an offensive threat anytime she's on the ice.
And she's only gotten better as the season has gone on. Through the start of the season, she only had 2 points to show for her efforts. The last 6 games, though, 4 points heading into tonight. And you love to see the player improvement as the season goes on, especially in an inaugural season like this. Not everyone's going to have their A game when you get started, but you only hope to see improvements along the way, and Michaela Cava is one of those stories. As Boston looking to set up some zone time here on Minnesota's side of the ice. Shot short side, and save made by Hensley. That was Jamie Lee Rattray who sent that one towards the net. Rattray scored in Boston's most recent outing just the other night against Ottawa. Minnesota back the other way with it. Looking to hand that puck off. It ended up on the stick of a player in a white jersey. Boston sends it all the way down the ice. Melissa Channel, with a lot of time and space to work with, will think about her options. Busting it up the ice. Here comes Minnesota. Shot, save, rebound! Swatted to the side of the net by Soderberg. She hasn't given up a lot of rebounds today, Julie, but good heads-up play there to clear that out of the way.
Yeah, and especially for this line for Minnesota, this third line that's kind of, actually the fourth line's out there right now for Minnesota. Third and fourth line and what they've been able to do today, create offensive chances, doing really good work below the goal line. An opportunity right there to regain this lead. Great job in the neutral zone to get this puck up the ice. Look at Sydney Brott. Hasn't played too many games this season due to an injury, but Soderberg, the last chance by Cava, and just that left leg just holds her ground. Does a great job covering that low part of the net. You can see how confident she is right now, 25 of 26. She's been sensational for Boston. What a lot of people thought, I think Alexis, we were surprised that Erin Frankel didn't get the nod today and that she wasn't in the lineup. So for Emma Soderberg to come in here on the road, expected to give her team a chance to win, I mean, she's definitely lived up to the hype right now.
In a high-stakes scenario, on top of that, Boston does not have a lot of points to give right now. They need every single one they can get. Minnesota looking to regain the lead here. Backhanded shot towards the net, steered away. Now Boston the other way. Centering pass, looking to get that on the stick of Lexi Agia. Never got there. Lee Steckline intercepts this pass. Takes it back behind the net, will slow things down. Lee Steckline, a veteran player in the sport of hockey, has so many accolades in her career, a big piece of this Minnesota blue line and team in general. Now back the other way with it. That shot comes through, hits the end wall. Hannah Brandt keeps it in at the blue line. Shot from Sydney Moore and goes just wide. Chased after it down into the corner by Rattray.
This is dangerous 5 players out there right now for Boston. You can see Sydney Moore getting a couple looks with Megan Keller, 2 of their top D pairs, along with this Rattray, Knight, and Brandt line. Look for them to try to get some more grade A chances on Nicole Hensley and make Minnesota's job hard in the D zone.
Fans are upset. A call was not made in the corner. We play on, and now we're going to have a penalty. It's going to go, I believe, against Taylor Heisey. It's going to be Emma Greco sitting in the box for a couple minutes. Michaela Cava took a hit in the corner moments before. The fans were upset. A penalty wasn't called. Then Greco, a little too physical in the neutral zone, and Minnesota now in a tight spot here, Julie. We're going to really find out what this team is made of.
Yeah, I think you call them both or don't call them at all, but Emma Greco gets the hands up into Hannah Brandt in the neutral zone, takes her down, and now a power play that has had success. Not coming into this game, but you can hear the fans are not happy with that call, but huge opportunity right now for Boston to get their first lead of the hockey game.
We just got the attendance numbers, 9,977 here at the XL Energy Center this afternoon. I think just about all of them let the officials know they didn't agree with that call. Unfortunately for them, it doesn't matter what they think. It's a 2-minute minor for Minnesota. They get it clear here. The fans appreciate the effort, and Boston will start over in their own end. Boston scored just moments into their first power play opportunity of the afternoon earlier in the third period to tie the game at 1. They would love to get that go-ahead goal here in this chance. Into the zone, Boston setting it up. In the circle, handed it off to the point. Keller with it, dishes it back, gets the pass back. Fans chanting for the defense. Shot short side, and Hensley's got it all tied up.
I think Nicole Hensley could see that a mile away, especially on the power play. You definitely want to make quick decisions, but this is almost like a telegraph pass right here. Keller over to Mueller in the middle, who finds Pelkey. for the one-timer, and you can see Nicole Hensley saw that all the way right in the breadbasket. No rebound once again. Settled in very nicely, 16 of 17. Her job's been a little harder than Emma Soderberg's today.
This shot sneaks in on Hensley. She kicks it out, and Minnesota able to get it to the blue line, but Boston holds the zone. And now Bookbinder will wrap this all the way around, but kept in again at the other point. Now Minnesota on the third opportunity will get it out. And you know what they say about goaltenders, Julie? The good ones, if they see it, they're going to stop it. The first goal for Boston was due, thanks in part to a nice screen by Hillary Knight. We'll see if they look to set that same sequence up here on this power play, but already just 15 seconds remaining before Emma Greco steps back out onto the ice.
Yeah, Alexis, I'm pretty surprised that they didn't go back to that here on the power play with how quick that they scored. You don't see Hillary Knight out there right now, but she did a great job of taking Hensley's eyes away with her height. And like I said, I'm surprised that Courtney Kessler didn't go back to that same kind of look here on that power play.
Minnesota back at full strength. 2 shots on net for Boston on that power play. So we play on, tied at 1 apiece, under 10 to go now in the third period. This shot comes through. Hensley has trouble with it. The rebound steered into the corner.
Well, you can see Hillary Knight saw that Nicole Hensley was cheating on the backside towards Alina Mueller. Tries to beat her short side, but Hensley had enough strength with that left leg to keep it on the post, but the rebound was right there.
To the point, Tapani sends that one in. A little bouncer ends up in the glove of Nicole Hensley.
But they can even hold on to this 1-1 tie with 8 minutes and 49 seconds. They clinch the playoffs, so big moments here for both of these teams.
Yeah, Minnesota a chance to secure their playoff berth here today. Boston looking for a chance there, and Hensley forced to make a quick save. Keeps it out of the back of the net.
Well, Jamie Lee Rattray, such a secret weapon for Boston. Put back on this line with Hillary Knight and Hannah Brandt. And you can't say enough about Hannah Brandt, just deceptively smooth, especially below the goal line. Such a great playmaker for Boston. I think if Boston's going to be able to get it done, it's going to come from this line.
Puck all tied up along the wall. Minnesota digs it loose, and here comes Taylor Heisey. Heisey gives it off, looking to work through some space. Trying to send it back to Heisey, play disrupted. Now Hillary Knight the other way. Set the screen for the tying goal earlier in the period, sends that shot in off the glass. Now Tapani. Played the start of the season here in Minnesota, then was traded to Boston. That shot comes through and goes wide.
You just see what makes Hillary Knight so great is she just comes in late into the frame, late into the play on that shot by Kaylee Fratkin. Almost gets a piece of it in front of Nicole Hensley, that net front presence. Not a player that you want to see when you're looking up if you're her.
This shot comes in short side, second opportunity. Hensley kicks it out. And Minnesota is on the rebound. Hensley's had to make a couple saves here as of late to keep this a tied game. And so far she's been up to the task. Shots on net. Still in favor of Minnesota, but only a 5-shot differential at this point in the game.
And Boston really has looked for those bad angle shots on Nicole Hensley because she's putting out rebounds right there.
Loose puck in the slot, and Minnesota can't find a stick on it. It's steered into the wall. All tied up. Couple players apiece in there trying to pry it loose. Just about 6.5 minutes to go in the game. Minnesota finds the puck on their stick. Kelly Panic, the goal scorer for the team in purple, sends it into the corner. Puck comes loose, and Emily Brown is on it for Boston. She gets it up to the blue line, not out. Minnesota holds the line. The shot comes through, goes just wide. Boston bottled up in their own end. They finally get the puck out to neutral.
You talk about the effort and the response of Boston after the second intermission. Only had 12 shots on the board. Now they have 24, have the same amount in this period that they had in the first 2. So getting those chances, I think that power play goal really kind of sparked their effort here in the third period, and they're right in this game with Minnesota.
Boston 12 shots on net this period. Minnesota just 5. Boston has been pushing. They got the tying goal earlier in the third and are looking for their first lead of the game. Minnesota trying to use this home crowd to their advantage. 9,977 in attendance here on Fan Appreciation Day. The shot comes in on Hensley. She'll cover it up for a whistle. And you mentioned Taylor Heisey. They would love a goal out of her. Minnesota would. Her last goal came against this Boston team, actually, on March 13th. So she's been in a little bit of a scoring drought, but she's been great here today. Has had a lot of opportunity to help set plays up for Minnesota offensively. Under 5 to go now in the third period. We're looking for our game winner. Who will get the job done here today, and what will it mean for playoff implications? We will find out shortly as Minnesota sends this one all the way down, and Boston picks it up in their own end. Mueller, who tied the game, hands it off. Puck ends up deep in Minnesota territory. Picked up by Steckler, banked off the wall and out. Getting this ahead to Kendall Coyne-Schofield. Watch out, she's got wheels! The pass and the shot went just wide. And that was Kelly Panic looking for her second of the game. Tough play though on her backhand, kind of ran out of room to make the play, but a good job by Kendall Coyne-Schofield to set it up. Yeah, that's the tough part about Kelly Panic, being a righty, looking for a lefty in that situation, but great back check by Boston. Nicole Hensley swats that rebound out of harm's way. That shot blocked by Minnesota on the way in. They'll carry it up the ice. And a penalty is drawn. It's going to be Boston heading to the box. And high sticking is going to be the call.
Yeah, we can see that up here. It looked like Sophie Shirley almost took Grace Zumwinkle's eye out there.
Boston, number 9, minor penalty, high sticking.
All right, well, Boston answered the bell on one of their power play opportunities. Minnesota has yet to do it. And
yeah, there was no doubt about that one.
Boston picks this up again, sends another shot through, deflected. And right there was Hillary Knight looking to get a piece of that one, but the puck just eluded her. Hard to tell who's on the power play right now. Minnesota trying to take the puck up the ice, establish some zone time. Now they work it up.
Really good kill right there by Jessica DiGirolamo. Didn't get a puck to the net, but found a way to just keep some zone time, take some time off the clock.
From the point, Sophie Jakes sends a shot in. Puck is loose. Soderberg couldn't get the whistle. Minnesota's back on the puck. Jakes hands it off. Far side. Shot short side. Soderberg with the glove snags it and gets the whistle. Sophie Jakes, how good has she been here tonight? She has not been afraid to shoot the puck. She has been looking for offensive opportunities. And there again on the power play with a good look from the point, almost gave Minnesota a good chance.
Yeah, they left her kind of wide open, but you can see even the effort of Kaylee Fratkin and Megan Keller, almost like a second goalie right there to Emma Soderberg, just collapsing right in front of her. But we talked so much about Megan Keller captaining the power play for Boston. Sophie Jakes has been a huge addition for Minnesota this year.
6 points in her last 5 games for Sophie Jakes. She's on a hot streak, was looking to add to it there. That shot off the stick. You can hear that all the way up in the press box. Soderberg gets in front of it.
Yeah, Krzova's shot didn't miss by much. Looking for that short side on Emma Soderberg as a lefty, but just got enough of it to put it in the corner.
Under 30 seconds to go with the skater advantage now for Minnesota. They're looking to get that lead back that they had late in the second period. Boston jumps on a turnover, sends it all the way down the ice. A few more seconds will take off the clock. Hensley trying to work as an extra defender back there, trying to get this puck moving. Kendall Coyne-Schofield peels back, hands it off to the point. Shot comes through, and that one sent into the corner. 3 shots on net for Minnesota on the power play, but no goals to show for it. 1.5 minutes to play here in the third. We're still tied up at 1 apiece.
Yeah, Sophie Jakes was looking for a streaking Sydney Brock cutting to the net on that weak side, but that rebound kind of came a little too hot off of Emma Soderberg's pad out of her reach.
Kava jumps on a rebound, was looking to give it off to Panic. Panic now scurries to it. That deflected off a Boston skate on the way in. Kava's on it, back behind the net. Carries it out to the point. One-timer, and this one ends up wide. Looking to throw it back towards the net. Jakes is on it, shot is blocked. And now this puck backhanded out into the neutral zone. Final minute of play in the third period.
How about about those lively boards. That Sophie Jakes missed shot. Grace Zumwinkle was right on that backside post. Tried to tuck it in, short side, just couldn't get enough on that shot.
45 seconds to go. Who will be the hero and when will it happen? Short side shot. Hensley fights it off. Second opportunity. Banging away on the side of the net. Still loose. No whistle yet. Where's the puck? It's in the slot. Emily Brown lines up a block shot from Minnesota. That is huge. The crowd loves it. Back the other way. Here comes Minnesota. And great defensive play by Brown to break it up. Oh my.
Well, action at both ends of the ice. What an incredible play on the back check by Emily Brown. I mean, no energy left in her feet. Just did everything that she could to not allow Taylor Heisey to get into the middle, and she didn't take a penalty. Saw Sid Morin on the other side trying to beat Nicole Hensley, short side.
In front shot, they score! In the final seconds, Minnesota gives up the go-ahead goal. Zeros on the clock. There will probably be about a second and a half left. And it's going to be the Minnesota native Hannah Brandt, who probably just sealed the deal for Boston.
Well, we talked to her after the second intermission on how they needed to get a regulation win. Hannah Brandt, a year younger than me, I could have told you right when she got this puck, she's going high glove. She has some of the smoothest hands in the country. And how about Hillary Knight to Hannah Brandt? What a duo those two have been in the USA hockey for so long. What an incredible play to pretty much seal the deal for Boston.
And they're figuring out what time to put back on the clock. They've got 2.7 on the clock right now. Hannah Brandt gets some hugs from her teammates along the Boston bench. What gumption shown by Boston late. I mean, Minnesota played a great game here today. They had the lead. They had a chance to get the go-ahead goal on the power play late in the third. And as it sits right now, it's going to be Boston with the 2-1 lead with just 2.7 seconds on the clock. And here's a look at the replay with the clock in the corner.
Well, and it just couldn't happen to a better person. I mean, Hannah Brandt is just a class act. Just been so impressive what she's been able to do at the international level and now in the first year of the PWHL. I mean, talk about the hands. I mean, just so soft, just the flick of the wrist in the top corner. No chance for Nicole Hensley with 2.7 seconds left to give them 3 points that they needed in this game.
And the buzzer will sound. The fans who were so eager all afternoon are going to go home disappointed today. Boston picks up all 3 points today against Minnesota on the road. That's what you need out of your team late in the season when you're looking for points for the playoffs. Boston with a huge win here today, Julie.